Hey y'all, stepping through today with a little message about giving and taking. Y'all, this has been a test for me. The giving and taking. It's been a test. And I've just been really thinking about it, like really evaluating in my life. What am I giving? What am I taking? What is giving to me and what is taking from me? And you know what? It is such an important question to ask ourselves, especially in a time of trying to grow and just being on the healing journey. In life, there are givers, people who lean more on the side of giving, and then there's opposite. There's individuals who lean more on the side of takers, like they like to take. And you know what? Something that I have really had to learn is that we create that environment in relationships with others. We create that. So when you interact with somebody, you know, you can either have it be a neutral ground or you can have it be, like an equal ground, or you can have it be like off balance. And it's kind of up to you and how you carry yourself and how you set boundaries in your life. If you hear some clicking in the background, it's Miss Sprinkles over here eating her bone. She said hello. So y'all, back to what I was saying. We set the environment, we set the tone. So if you are a people pleaser and you just be giving to anybody and everybody, yeah, yeah, take it, take it, take it. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you what. I've been like that in my life. Like, yeah, all right, I'll help you with this. I'll help you with this. Ain't got nothing left to give myself. Ain't got nothing left to give, people closest to me. And it usually be like just a select few that just really take and hone in on abusing your kindness, because that's what it is. If you help somebody and they continue to push for more, that is abusive. It may not be, abusive to a, like, oh, this person is so abusive. Like, no, it's a more gentle abuse, but it is abuse. And that's how we have to look at this, right? Because you feel guilty saying no, you feel bad about setting the boundaries, because oftentimes people who are asking for help, they make it seem like they can't do it. They make it seem like, oh, if you don't help me, who will? Or but at the end of the day, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. It doesn't matter, age. Obviously, if you have kids and stuff, that is a completely different story. I'm talking like people that's not in your direct household, like people that's outside of your household who asking too much. And this ain't, I ain't coming at nobody with this, but I'm just being straight up about it because hey, some of y'all, we need to hear this, right? We have to set these boundaries with people, especially people who just want something from you, because that's the thing. You have to evaluate the relationship. Is this relationship just them taking from me? Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? If it's not two-sided, you know a relationship is two people that are coming together, moving forward together. Like, that is a relationship. You give and you take, and it's got a pretty equal grounding. But if there's one person who's always giving, one person who's always taking, it just ain't gonna work, right? And you can get mad at the other person, like, why they always ask me for this? Like, man, I ain't even gonna talk to them no more. But here's the thing, it is your responsibility to set the boundary. If you don't set boundaries, that's how relationships crumble. Because if there's poor boundaries, like, you just allowing this person to abuse you, basically. You're like, yeah, you can come on in, come on into my house with your muddy feet and just get mud all over this floor that I just mopped in, you know, um, and that's an analogy. Like, that floor is you, and you're just letting somebody come up in your space, you know, putting things everywhere, disregarding. Because once you help out a person way past the limit than you should have, there becomes a point of entitlement and they take you for granted. And that's just the truth of it. They start to feel like they are entitled to your help and they take you for granted. And I think that's the saddest part, because we should be able to have give and take relationships with people. We should be able to have healthy relationships with people that are fulfilling, that make us feel good. But when we don't have healthy boundaries, people take us for granted. And that I think that's the saddest part, is like, hey man, every day is a blessing. Every day is a blessing. And it's a blessing that we're even able to have the conversation to begin with. I've lost so many people, have experienced so many losses in my life, and I just, at this point in my life, I'm just grateful for the genuine connections in my life that do have those healthy boundaries, that do have that respect, and that do have that appreciation. But when you give too much, people take it for granted. I mean, you can even think about it from a business standpoint. You can have some dope works, and I can even say this from my experience. If you have some dope works and you giving it out for a little price, people will take it for granted. They'll be like, oh, look at it like something cheap. You can't sell yourself short. You are putting the price on your life. That just sounded good. But for real, you set the price. You set the tone. How do you want this person to be interacting with you? Do you want them to constantly be taken from you all the time? No, you would rather have a relationship with somebody that y'all, you can talk, you can connect and stuff. But here's the thing. Not everybody is ready for that. And that's the hard truth about it. Not everybody is ready for a genuine connection with others, because they don't have that genuine connection with themselves. So that's when we have to really evaluate how much time and effort should I be giving to this relationship, knowing that this relationship is going to be taking from me more than anything. Knowing that they're not going to be able to give me that genuine connection that I want and that I desire. How much effort and energy should I be giving this? And that's when you have to evaluate your boundaries. Okay, how far can I go with this before I get to a point of feeling bitter, depleted, violated, abused, and angry? How far can I go with this before I start feeling tired, before I'm not able to give to myself and give to my household? And you know what? I personally feel like setting boundaries, like, it is very hard to do. But once you get the hang of it, it's very freeing for both of you. For both of you. Because once you keep putting your hand out to people, giving people, it's like a duck. I don't know if y'all know, but if you feed ducks constantly, they gonna forget how to feed themselves, and they will just keep going to you for food. Okay, it's the same thing. People need to learn how to take responsibility for their own lives, and we can't worry about that. We gotta have our own lives to worry about. Um, Having poor boundaries is just not, it just ain't it. It ain't it, fam. There's nothing good about having poor boundaries. I mean, do you want to live your life for others? I mean, you have such a precious life, and the time that you have on this planet is limited. So if you just want to be leached off of, would you want a leech on your hand just getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Obviously not, because it's disgusting and it make you uncomfortable and it's annoying. Like, hey, you're gonna leave, man? No, it's good. This is yummy. Like, no, no, fam. You got to go. It's time to go. Like, some people love giving, some people love to give, and I think that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful quality to have and to harness. But don't sacrifice so much of yourself that you don't have anything to give yourself, because you do deserve that same energy to yourself. You deserve to give that back to yourself. Like, that is your energy that you were born with, yours to keep, your most precious, prized possession. And it's up to you on how you handle it. And sometimes we carry these programmings from our childhood to make us feel like we're responsible for everybody else and have to sacrifice ourselves. And it's just, it ain't the way to go. Especially if you want to do things for yourself, like follow your dreams and want to have a purpose, like a higher purpose than just giving to everybody all the time. Then you have to consider that you may need some boundaries put up in your life, and just taking small steps on it. Maybe this time you didn't say what you should have said, but don't ever feel like you can't go back and say, hey, I didn't really like the way that I had said this, and I want to be clear with you on this. I don't appreciate you, blah, 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 blah. Or I don't want this to be blah, 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 blah. Or no, like they say, no is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. I haven't got to that point. I still be trying to explain myself a little bit, but it's a lot better than it used to be. I used to be like, no, because I got da 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 da. And you know what's the problem with that? When you start explaining yourself, people who's takers, they be like, well, you could still do this. And, that's not like that, just trying to make you feel more guilty because they're trying to manipulate you into giving something. Like, and this isn't to demonize nobody. We are human, and a lot of these qualities come from just immaturity and just not really having to take responsibility for ourselves. So, setting up boundaries, it does everybody justice, it does everybody good. It's a very good thing to do in your life because it not only shows you that you're worthy of respect and gives you energy, but it also shows the other person that, hey, you have to take responsibility for yourself. And they have to follow their own journey and do their own thing in their own life. You are not responsible for them. But that's my message, y'all, on boundaries, giving and taking, you know. So, and we are all takers, especially if somebody offering all the time, like, hey, you want this? Hey, you want this? Sure, sounds great, you know. But we have to ask ourselves, especially if we really care about that relationship, am I taking too much? And if I am taking a little too much, what's something I can do? Something I can do to give back to you. Maybe I could, stop over and I don't even know. There's a lot of ways that you can give back to somebody. You can write them something sweet. You can send them a positive message. You can stop by and say hello. You can, it don't even have to be nothing big. It's just something to show the person that you appreciate them, to equalize that giving and taking. But y'all have a good night. And I hope you learned something today about boundaries. Take care. Bye.